20,000 subscribers. Let's go make a video. Oh shit.
What can I say? Since I started this channel back in late 2010, I've sort of trundled along making videos, some good, some bad. Either way, it seems that it's the sort of stuff you like, as I've now amassed over 20,000 subscribers, which is about 20,000 more than I ever expected to get. Like I said, what can I say? Words cannot describe the amount of thanks that I want to give you guys. I literally couldn't have done it without you. So to celebrate this momentous occasion, I'm counting down the best 10 countdowns that I've put out. This isn't some sort of ego rush, more of a structured commentary on them and a reflection on the videos that have got me this far. So if you're a fan of my videos, this is the video for you. Don't worry, it will make more sense as we go along. So let's get this thing underway. The only music countdown on this list, Top 10 No More Heroes tracks, had a lot of potential. I had seen a whole load of people do a list on the boss music from this game, and I wanted to make the point that there are a lot of other really great tracks from the No More Heroes series. So yeah, let's make a music countdown with a bit of synchronization and music videos. Awesome! But in a theme that is a disappointing reoccurrence around that time, it looked like shit. I mean, the video isn't too bad and some of the music videos are pretty damn good, but I made the video when I was just getting to grips with Sony Vegas. And that led to a small problem with the resolution, and the video looked very fuzzy at the end of it. Even better, I used blue text on a black background, and when the video quality is already as low as it is, you can barely see what I've written. However, other than that though, it's a decent list. I stand by the choices with relation to the entries, and where on the list they ended up, but it's that goddamn 240p resolution that let me down. Thank God that didn't happen too often, eh? Maybe I spoke too soon. Being the first countdown I made with Sony Vegas, and only my third big countdown, I was still a bit inexperienced when I made this. As a result, there are quite a few mistakes in it. I said that I preferred Final Fantasy VI over 7, having, at the time at least, not played Final Fantasy VI, and while that was based on what I had heard from the game, I worded that bit terribly and I apologise. There was also something about various other Portal Easter eggs that I apparently should have included, but honestly, I couldn't care less. What really pushes this video down though is the resolution again. When I was using Sony Vegas for the first time, I didn't really care about the video quality. The only thing I really cared about was doing some fancy editing, and even so, that didn't turn up very often during the video. I just chose an option that wouldn't take me the rest of all time, which just so happened to be the worst option of the lot. What can I say? I'm just impatient like that. The only reason why this video is on here at all is that view count. Despite it technically being one of my worst countdowns, it's received a lot of views.
I'm sorry, I need to drop something.
But still, in spite of this immense popularity, there are always those people who just want to point out that it's in 240p. And they never let me forget it. Do you guys remember Zelda now? Holy shit! That took a long time to get ready. There was a video about Zelda bosses, Zelda music, and even a video that took me like a year to make. That about half of my subscribers have watched. But anyway, the best video from that month was Top 10 Legend of Zelda Villains. Look at it this way, the videos I made during that period of time were about bosses, music, and a very long arrangement medley. All things I've done before, or at least something very similar. However, prior to last April, I had never touched the topic of villains before, which in turn is a very hard topic to cover. When you're talking about bosses, you usually just talk about why the boss is so great and what you do to defeat it. With villains, you're talking about motives, personality, character development, and the boss fight, so there's a lot more to play with. This video is more solid than spectacular really. There's not a huge amount wrong with it, but there's not anything sensational about it either. My segment about Majora's Mask was some of my best analytical scripting, even though that part and indeed most of the video is largely devoid of jokes. Just think of it as the safe countdown. This is a bit of a weird one. I had wanted to do a collab with Animal Guy 001 for a long time, and it was just a matter of choosing a topic. In the end, Logan kinda chose it for me, as anti-heroes was a topic that I had thought about doing for quite a while, and when he posted his video detailing the contest, I jumped aboard and we had a collab to do. The premise was very simple, video game characters with unclear motives and goals that go through everyone to get through. In order to get the video done, we split the roles, with Logan taking the editing and me taking most of the scripting. And unfortunately, from my viewpoint at least, the scripting, well, it isn't all that good. There was a problem I kept having with my scripting where it would be very factual, but not all that interesting. When we're talking about Ocelot, I swear that all we're actually talking about is the kind of stuff that you'd easily find on some sort of wiki article. Either way, it wasn't all that interesting, and I imagine the viewers weren't overly engaged either. It's this constant pressure to be entertaining, otherwise people just won't watch the video. Credit to Logan though, his editing on this is very solid. Another issue with this list is the people who comment on it. I don't know if Logan has this problem on his part of the video, but I swear that people just don't know that it's a contest. What about Spawn? He defiantly should have been in this countdown. Well, I don't know who Spawn is exactly, but you should have voted when you had the chance. You guys totally forgot Virgil from Devil May Cry 3. Not too sure we did, you know. I think that you'll find that it was the voters who forgot, as they chose the entries. Oh, you have to be kidding me. Vegeta is the best. Okay, for a start, Vegeta is an anime character and not a video game character. Just because someone appears in a game, it doesn't make them a video game character if their origins lie elsewhere. Look at James Bond and the N64 GoldenEye. Even so, you should have voted when you had the chance. Before the collab with Logan, I had done a couple of other countdowns of other people. There was my first with Hardy's Forever, which was okay, a bit basic though. Then there was a huge 4-wide video with the Chaos Theatre, and the least said about that the better. But after that, I joined up with Utter Spartan, and we got properly stuck in. This topic was a bit of a tricky one to do. Anything humour based is always going to be subjective, so one person's hilarious is another person's insufferable. Even so, it's a fairly successful video, and it's not subject to the backlash that the anti-heroes videos seem to get. The video itself is a bit short, and due to some skint script work, there are moments where we just play a scene with the character in. But honestly, this was so much fun to make. There's something wonderful about only having to edit 5 entries into a countdown, and putting a lot of effort into those 5. While we did split the editing up and had a couple of continuity issues, it sped the process up immensely. So if any of you guys do a collab with someone, there's something to keep in mind. The most recent video to come from my hands, and the best collab to date, top 25 most freaky things in the Legend of Zelda series, was one crazy video. For a start, just look at the number of entries, 25. That's easily the largest video I've ever done, which then turned into the longest video I've ever done. Then there's the fact that it's a collab, which is a difficult matter when there's 10 entries to do, let alone 25. The summary is that this video was nails to make, and when you're making it up to a deadline like Halloween, it becomes a little bit stressful. Having learnt my lesson from the scripting for anti-heroes, I let Speed take over the scripting, and my god, didn't he do well! Honestly, it's the best script I've ever had put in front of me, including the ones I've written myself. It was a great combination of jokes and actual important facts that worked so well, and David, I couldn't have done better myself. But there's a slight problem with this video. Like I said, it's a large countdown, 25 entries and a collab, and this leads to quality issues. After a while, I noticed a slight deterioration in the qualities of the entries I was making, and after you've made 25 entries, you start to notice small errors more often, and frankly, that bugs me more than it should. I love this video, I really do. I made this countdown during the summer holidays and I was just right in the zone for it. The scripting felt natural, the editing was spat very quickly, and the final video is technically one of my best yet. It's not exactly a topic that I had thought about before, but I thought that it was executed without too much hassle. And that in itself is an interesting story. The idea for the countdown came up during a chat with the Artark of Flame over Skype. He mentioned this concept and he was struggling with the script. He didn't really like it and he planned to drop it. But me, being the ever opportunist, I decided to see if I could take it over. And to my slight surprise, he was all for it, and gave me the listed entries, and after a couple of alterations, I had a new video to make. There's not a lot more I can say about this one. There are a couple of errors, most notably where I ignore the fact that Wanda does actually come back as a horned baby at the end of Shadow of the Colossus, but there are still some great moments. My segment on Call of Duty was deliberately designed to be a punch in the face to all the Call of Duty haters because honestly, that series gets way too much hate. Hate the fans, not the series. There's nothing a video game franchise can do about its fans. And just one final thing. While recording the vocals, there was a pile of coins on my desk, and throughout the recording, I was just playing around with them. You can actually hear the sound of coins all throughout the video. Just a little bit of trivia. So yeah, where do you go from there? At what point do you look for a way of shaking up how you make a countdown? Maybe you get other people to make it for you? Yeah, it was a good idea to do a contest really, an idea that I definitely didn't get from the anti-heroes list, no sir. It made a lot of sense to me. I was preparing for and sitting exams around the time the contest was underway, and I needed something that would just tick along without a lot of my input. And my word did it tick along. Literally, some people voted, and it's nice to see that these people care about what goes into my videos. Even though I haven't forgiven those guys who voted for Mario is Missing, and frankly, I never will. The video itself is actually pretty good. I felt that a lot of the jokes were actually appropriate, and even though I was talking about whole games, I kind of got on with it. There wasn't a lot of screwing around, outside of professing my eternal love towards Forfall, and it feels like the 26 minutes of video are actually 26 minutes of decent content. Because that's clearly what I'm here to do. So to summarise top 10 video game Easter eggs, nice video, but it could have been a hell of a lot better. Improve the quality a bit, do a bit more research, and don't be a moron. So, you know, not much. This video felt good, as in really, really good. Because you get a strange feeling course through you. When you see a video like top 10 Easter eggs become so popular, it looks like shit, it's not that good, and my god, it could have been so much better. By remaking it, I plan to show what the video could have been if I had a bit more experience, and with a couple more subscribers under my belt at the time, I felt that I could finally do this. It's very simple really, just do the video again, but better. But I decided to restrict my choices for entry so that I could get a unique set of Easter eggs. Because let's be honest here, if I just cowered behind the same series like No More Heroes, Zelda, Mario, maybe a bit of Metal Gear, my videos would get very boring very quickly. So I went with games that I wouldn't usually choose something from, the likes of Left 4 Dead 2, Fallout 3 and Saints Row 2. Not my usual area of expertise, but I thought I'd give it a go. And with nearly 500,000 views, I'd say the video was a success. I've mentioned this a couple of times now, but I just didn't like my style of scripting for a long time. It just seemed like, that'll do. Not a lot of personality was put into it, and it felt almost robotic. So after Zelda month was over, I basically decided, fuck it. I don't really care anymore. Let's just go all out and see what happens. Being brutally honest, this countdown isn't my best. There are a couple of errors dotted about, and it's a bit rough around the edges. I've put out videos that are far superior. But I've never had so much fun making a video in all my time on this channel. There's something wonderful about making a video on a negative topic, because you can just go way over the top, and it actually suits the style of video. Jokes were just flowing out of my fingertips, and segments like the Hermes and Morpher segments are some of my favourite parts of any of my own videos. I was properly in the zone. It might not be my best video, in fact it's only my 6th most watched on my channel, but it's my favourite. If I've learnt one thing from this business, it's to be as confident as you can in your work, and just go for it. You can stand around and stumble through a script and produce a nervous video at the end of it, or you can just give it a right good go and see what happens. This is RabbidLuigi, and once again, thank you so much for 20,000 subscribers. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.
Oh, that was a